Listen, something is happening right now. And if you're here, it means you're meant to hear this. There's a reason your spirit feels the pull. There's a reason this very video found you on this exact date. Because today is not ordinary. Today is May 10th, and it's sacred. The atmosphere around you, it's heavy with divine movement. Invisible hands are shifting circumstances, unlocking doors, releasing what's been held back for far too long. You've prayed. You've cried in silence. You've wondered if heaven even heard you. But today, yes, today, something changes. This is a supernatural checkpoint in time. A moment sealed in heaven before you were even born. And when you crossed paths with it, the countdown to miracles began. No more waiting, no more almosts, no more delay. You're not lost. You're not forgotten. You are chosen, set apart. And this message is a confirmation. God is not late. He's right on time, and that time is now. Your life is about to accelerate. But you must stay until the end of this message. Because what's coming next will unlock the reasons behind every closed door, every painful detour, every silent night. So pause everything else. Breathe. Let your spirit awaken, because you're stepping into your month of miracles. Like this video if your soul is resonating right now. Subscribe if you haven't yet, because what's coming next is only for those walking in alignment. And comment 99 as a prophetic act, because Psalm 99 declares that the Lord reigns in majesty and justice, and today He reigns over your situation. Are you ready? Because what happens in the next few minutes might just rewrite the rest of your year. There are seasons when life feels frozen. You look around and nothing seems to move. You've prayed for change, cried for direction, begged for signs, but all you got in return was silence. And in that silence, you started to wonder, did I miss it? Did God forget me? Was the promise just a dream? But what if I told you? The silence wasn't absence. It was divine preparation. Because sometimes, God doesn't rush the miracle. He matures the vessel. And that vessel is you. You see, heaven operates on a higher rhythm, not the ticking of a clock, but the beating of eternal purpose. What looked like a delay was actually a sacred pause to protect you from premature breakthroughs that would have crushed you instead of blessing you. God wasn't saying no. He was saying, not yet. The timing isn't ripe. The room isn't ready. The world isn't prepared for what I'm about to release through you. And now, listen carefully. The time has shifted. Something in the unseen realm has clicked into alignment. This isn't random. May 10th is a divine appointment. A gate in the spirit has opened, and those who are aligned, those who are watching, those who are awake, will walk through it into a radically different season. You may not see it yet. You may not feel it. But listen, faith doesn't wait for proof. It moves on prophecy, and this is your word. The delay is over. What was held back is being released. What was blocked is being broken open. What felt like a full stop was only a comma in your story. Every silent day had a purpose. Every unanswered prayer was collecting weight in heaven. And now, like a dam reaching critical mass, the release is near. But here's the twist. The closer your miracle comes, the more chaos may rise around you. That's how you'll know it's real. When the enemy senses breakthrough, he throws distraction, fear, doubt, and confusion like a storm before the sunrise. So if everything suddenly feels intense, unstable, uncertain, don't panic. That's proof that the timing is now. Heaven doesn't move on emotion. Heaven moves on timing, and this is your moment. But what happens next? That's the part most people miss. Because when divine timing activates, there's one thing God requires from you, and that one thing can either release the floodgates or keep them locked for another season. Are you ready to find out what it is? Stay with me. What I'm about to reveal could be the key that unlocks your month of miracles. You've been planting in the dark for a long time, praying without seeing, sowing tears while smiling in front of others, speaking life while secretly feeling empty. And yet, you never stopped. You didn't give up when it would have been easier to walk away. You didn't curse God when everything fell apart. You didn't disconnect from your purpose when the process felt unbearable. That faith, that endurance, that quiet obedience when no one was watching, it moved heaven. You weren't just surviving. You were planting. And every prayer, every fast, every act of kindness, every choice to love instead of retaliate, it was a seed. But here's the mystery of the kingdom. Seeds don't shout. They don't warn you before they break the surface. They work in silence. They grow in the unseen. And suddenly, they arrive. And now, listen carefully. This is not a season of planting. This is not even a season of pruning. This is a season of arrival. The plane is landing. The vision is forming. The connections, the clarity, the confirmation, it's all converging. Because God has declared over you, you've waited long enough. Now it's coming to you. Not because you earned it, not because you forced it, but because you were faithful when it didn't make sense. Now the heavens respond, and let me tell you, when God sends harvest, it doesn't come in trickles. It doesn't knock politely. It floods. Miracles won't enter your life in an orderly line. They'll rush in like a wave. Opportunities appearing out of nowhere. Hearts that were hardened suddenly softening. Phone calls that shift your destiny. Ideas that birth new income streams. Doctors saying, we can't explain it, but it's gone. And while others may still be striving, you will begin receiving. Not because you're more special, but because your appointment has come due. You don't need to chase it. You don't need to manipulate it. You just need to stay aligned, because what's yours is already walking toward you. But here's the twist most don't expect. Arrival is not always comfortable. Sometimes the answer to your prayer arrives in the form of disruption. Sometimes the thing you prayed for looks unfamiliar when it first shows up. Sometimes the open door feels overwhelming because it's bigger than anything you've ever handled. But don't let that scare you. It's confirmation. You've stepped into a space you couldn't reach on your own, because this isn't a repeat of last season. This isn't almost. This isn't one day. This is it. The day where what you carried in your spirit for years finally manifests in front of your eyes. But before we move forward, let me give you this prophetic warning. Not everyone around you will be ready for your arrival. Some will question it. Some will resist it. Some will try to remind you of the season where nothing was growing. But don't explain yourself. Don't shrink. Don't apologize for the favor on your life. You paid for this in tears. You sowed for this in silence. And now, you will reap in joy. And yet, there's one more layer to this arrival, something most people overlook. A deeper truth that separates those who taste the promise from those who live in it. And I'm going to share it with you. But when I do, it may change how you see everything, including your delays, your pain, and even your purpose. Are you ready to go deeper? Then stay with me. Because what comes next will shift your atmosphere. Faith isn't a feeling. It's not something you wait to feel motivated to use. It's a force, a spiritual voltage that powers the movement of heaven on earth. And without it, even the greatest promises stay locked behind invisible walls. You. See, miracles don't just happen. They are pulled into reality by the hands of relentless faith. Let me make this clear. There is a difference between having faith and activating faith. You can believe in God. You can know His word. You can recite His promises. But unless you activate your faith daily, deliberately, and with authority, you'll live with potential miracles that never manifest, because faith is not passive. Faith is a weapon, and weapons must be wielded to be effective. So here's the revelation. Every day of May is a door, a supernatural window waiting for you to either walk through it with boldness or stand outside, hoping it opens on its own. And today, May 10th, is not just a date. It's a launch pad, a divine ignition point where your words become keys. Your declarations become doors, and your mindset becomes the magnet for the miraculous. But here's what the enemy wants. He wants you to wake up each morning numb, distracted, disappointed, tired of believing, tired of hoping, tired of getting your hopes up just to be let down. Because if he can get you to stop speaking, he can stop your breakthrough from forming. But not this time. This time you rise. This time you fight back with your voice. This time you prophesy into your day before the day has a chance to steal your joy. So before your feet hit the floor tomorrow morning, say this out loud: miracles are finding me today. Say it like you mean it. Say it until your atmosphere feels it. Say it until your doubts can't survive it. Say it until fear gets evicted and favor takes its place. Because when you speak with faith, you're not just talking to yourself. You're commanding the supernatural to respond. And heaven always moves where faith is loudest. Let me tell you something most believers forget. Angels respond to faith-filled words. Your declarations send assignments into motion. You don't see it, but in the spirit realm, every "I believe" is like a spark. And the more consistent you are, the more intense the fire becomes. Faith is not about feeling good every day. It's about choosing to believe, even on the hard days. And May? This is not the time to coast. This is the month to build spiritual momentum. One word, one declaration, one act of trust at a time. Every morning is a blank scroll. What will you write on it? Fear or faith? Complaints or declarations? Doubt or destiny? The future doesn't answer to emotions. It responds to bold belief. And if you're thinking, "But I've spoken before and nothing changed," let me speak to that disappointment. Just because the seed didn't sprout on your timeline doesn't mean it died. Some breakthroughs are so massive, so multidimensional, that they require time to align everything behind the scenes. So don't let silence make you stop speaking. Don't let delay make you stop declaring. This is your faith sprint, and your words are the fuel. Every single day, heaven is listening. And every time you speak faith, you're drawing the miracle closer. But here's where it gets interesting. There's a kind of faith that terrifies the enemy. A type of mindset that once you enter it makes your life almost unrecognizable in just weeks. It doesn't just attract blessings. It transforms your identity from the inside out. And in the next part, I'm going to show you how to unlock it. But be warned, once you see it, you won't be able to go back to who you were before. Are you still with me? Good, because what's coming next might just rewire your entire perspective. There's something sacred happening right beneath the surface of your life. It's quiet, invisible to most, but undeniable to those who are sensitive in the spirit. God is not just healing your wounds. He's rewriting your story. That pain you never talked about, that failure you tried to forget, that moment that felt like the end of everything you dreamed, He's touching it, reframing it, redeeming it. Because the enemy has tried for too long to anchor your identity to your history, to convince you that your past is proof that you are disqualified from the promise. But hear this with your spirit. You are not what happened to you. You are not the mistake you made. You are not the shame you've carried in silence. You are becoming a new creation. And heaven isn't consulting your past to decide your future. In fact, God is doing something radical with your history. He's turning it into a platform, a message, a weapon. What once wounded you will become the very place His glory shines. The brightest. Listen to this truth. God doesn't just erase pain, He recycles it. He takes broken pieces and makes them sacred. He takes your lowest valley and makes it the stage for His highest purpose. That's why Isaiah 43:19 doesn't say, "I'm fixing the old." It says, "Behold, I am doing a new thing." New. Not recycled, not improved. New. That means the page is turning. The script is changing. The very timeline of your life is being rewritten by the author of redemption. And here's the mystery. Sometimes, when God rewrites your story, He also removes people who only knew the previous chapter. They can't see the new you because they were only ever connected to the version of you that was broken, traumatized, or playing small. Let them go. Some characters aren't meant for your next scene. Because what's coming doesn't require validation. It requires alignment. And as God turns your mourning into dancing, don't be surprised if joy feels unfamiliar at first. Don't be surprised if peace makes you nervous. If favor feels too good to be true. You've lived in survival mode for so long, thriving feels like a foreign language. But this is your new native tongue. Freedom. And the weight you carried? That invisible heaviness that followed you everywhere? That voice in your head that whispered, "You're not enough?" It's being lifted, right now, in this very moment. Not by chance, not by luck, but by the sovereign hand of God, who's been rewriting your story in the background, even while you slept. You've cried long enough. You've questioned long enough. You've apologized for your existence long enough. Now, He's handing you a new pen, and the next chapter, it doesn't start with pain. It starts with power. But before we step into it, there's one final key, a divine shift that completes the transformation. And when I reveal it, something in your spirit will unlock. Because it's not just about what God is doing around you. It's about what He's about to ignite within you. Stay with me. The final part will awaken something you didn't know you were carrying. What if I told you? You're about to walk into rooms you didn't even apply to enter. What if I told you that before this month ends, you'll receive a call, an opportunity, a breakthrough, so divinely orchestrated, you'll have no explanation, except this is God. Let this truth sink in. You were never created for average. You were never meant to live a life of barely getting by, barely being seen, barely holding on. You were designed for uncommon favor. Favor that doesn't make sense. Favor that skips the line. Favor that overrides logic, timelines, and human limits. And here's the wild part. God is not asking you to earn it. He's asking you to expect it. Because what you expect in the spirit, you attract in the natural. Listen closely. There is a divine repositioning happening in the heavens. People who overlooked you are about to need you. Doors that were bolted shut are swinging wide. And the things you thought were delayed are actually being perfectly timed for maximum impact. But here's the twist most people miss. Uncommon favor looks like chaos. At first, it looks like rejection. It feels like confusion. It shows up as delay. But in the kingdom of God, what looks like a no is often a rerouting to something better than you prayed for. So if you've been in a season where nothing made sense, where your prayers felt unheard, your path unclear, and the doors just wouldn't open, don't panic. It wasn't punishment. It was preparation. Because what's coming to you now isn't just a blessing. It's a statement, a signature of heaven on your life that will leave people asking, how did this happen so fast? But you'll know the answer. You'll know it wasn't luck. It wasn't coincidence. It wasn't your resume or your network. It was May 10th. It was the moment you stopped doubting. It was the moment you started declaring. It was the day you said, I believe again. And that belief, that single act of faith, it set everything into motion. Now the gears are turning. The angels are moving. The tables are being prepared in the presence of your enemies. And your name is being whispered in rooms your feet haven't even entered yet. But I need to tell you something powerful. Uncommon favor isn't just about what you receive. It's about who you become in the process. Because when favor finds It doesn't just change your circumstances. It changes your identity. You walk different. You speak different. You expect more. You live with divine confidence because you've seen what heaven can do in a moment. So let me ask you, are you ready to stop surviving and start thriving? Because the window is open. The invitation has been sent. The atmosphere is shifting, and the next 21 days of your life could look nothing like the last 21 months, if you dare to believe. But here's where it gets even deeper. You think you've seen God's hand before? What if I told you? He's just getting started. And what's coming next, in the final moments of this message, isn't just encouragement. It's a divine activation. Something is about to break open, and you need to be ready for it. Are you still here? Because what comes next might just unlock the floodgates. This is it. Everything you've heard, every word that stirred your heart, every moment that sent chills down your spine, was leading you right here. You didn't find this video by accident. You were summoned, marked by heaven, chosen for such a time as this. The shift has already begun. But now, we seal it. Let's pray together. Father, I thank you for this divine appointment. This sacred moment on May 10th was written into my destiny. I receive every miracle you've prepared for me.